Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine while walking through an ancient forest? Or caught a glimpse of something unexplainable from the corner of your eye near a misty loch? For centuries, the Celtic lands Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and beyond have been home to stories that blur the line between our world and another. These aren't just fairy tales. They're eyewitness accounts, passed down through generations, of creatures that defy modern explanation. Today, we're not just telling stories. We're peeling back the veil to uncover the truth behind the cryptids of Celtic mythology and asking the question, what if they never left? Our journey begins in the deep, cold waters of Scotland, with the most famous cryptid of them all, the Loch Ness Monster. While the world knows her as Nessie, Celtic folklore has long spoken of the Each-Uisge, or the water horse. This shape-shifting creature was said to lurk in lochs, often appearing as a beautiful horse to lure unsuspecting travelers onto its back. Once mounted, its skin would become adhesive, trapping the rider as it galloped into the depths. Now, think about the thousands of sightings of Nessie over the years. Are they all misidentifications? Or are people witnessing a modern-day version of this ancient, powerful being? The descriptions are strikingly similar. A large, long-necked creature, powerful and elusive. The sheer number of consistent reports, from St. Columba in the 6th century to the sonar readings of the 21st, suggests we're dealing with more than just a local legend. It points to a living, breathing creature that has expertly evaded our full understanding. From the water, we move to the skies. Have you ever heard of the Owlman of Cornwall? In the 1970s, near the village of Mawnan, multiple witnesses reported a terrifying sight. A massive winged creature with glowing red eyes, and features resembling a giant owl perched atop an old church tower. It was described as man-sized with powerful claws. Skeptics were quick to dismiss it as a large owl, but the witnesses, including 2 young girls who were so frightened they cut their vacation short, were adamant. They saw something monstrous. This creature bears a chilling resemblance to ancient Celtic warnings about ill-omened, supernatural birds. Celtic traditions are filled with stories of otherworldly beings that act as messengers or harbingers. Could the Owlman be a modern manifestation of one of these entities? Its appearance a warning we have yet to comprehend. The fact that multiple, unrelated people described the exact same terrifying figure suggests a shared, real experience, not a shared delusion. Now, let's venture into the dense, whispering forests of Ireland, the traditional home of the fairies, or the good people. Modern culture has painted them as tiny, winged sprites. But Celtic lore tells a different story. The Aos Sí were powerful, human-sized beings who lived in a parallel world, accessible through ancient mounds and rings of stones. They were not to be trifled with. They could be benevolent, but also fiercely territorial and dangerous if disrespected. To this day, in rural Ireland, many people refuse to disturb a fairy fort or a lone hawthorn tree for fear of incurring their wrath. Stories abound of farmers who moved a fairy stone only to be met with inexplicable bad luck, illness, or lost livestock. Is this just superstition? Or is it a cultural memory, a learned behavior based on real negative encounters with these beings? The sheer persistence of these beliefs and the tangible fear they still inspire suggests that something very real is protecting these sacred places. These aren't just folk tales. They are practical warnings. Let's also talk about the Dobhar-chú, the water hound of Ireland. This creature is described as a massive, otter-like beast, half dog, half fish, known for its speed and ferocity. This might sound like pure fantasy, until you see the evidence carved in stone. In a graveyard in County Leitrim lies the gravestone of Grace Connolly, who was reportedly killed by a Dobhar-chú in the 18th century. The carving on the stone depicts the creature in vivid detail, as her husband, who avenged her death, described it. He claimed to have killed the beast, only for its mate to emerge from the water, chasing him for miles. This isn't just a story told around a campfire. It's a historical record, a family's tragic tale etched into a headstone for all to see. Why would someone carve such a specific, fantastical beast onto a memorial? It's because, for them, it wasn't fantasy. It was the terrible, real cause of death. From land and water, we turn to the mountains of Wales, home to legends of the Adanc. This lake monster, sometimes described as a dragon or a giant beaver, was said to terrorize the lands near places like Llyn Lyon and Llyn Barfog. It was a creature of immense power, capable of causing floods and dragging victims into its watery lair. What's fascinating is that these stories often aren't just about the monster, but about how legendary heroes like King Arthur or Peredur captured it, not always by killing it, but by tricking it or relocating it. This detail is crucial. It implies a creature that was part of the ecosystem, a dangerous animal that needed to be managed, not just a mythical beast to be slain. These sound less like fairy tales, and more like early attempts at wildlife management for a predator we no longer recognize. Across the world, ancient cultures described animals that are now extinct. Is it so hard to believe the Celts were documenting their own region's megafauna, creatures that simply didn't survive into our time? Finally, let's consider the black dogs. Across the British Isles, tales of massive spectral hounds with glowing eyes are incredibly common. They are known as the Barghest in the north of England and the Sea Squith in the Scottish Highlands. The Sea Squith was said to be the size of a bull, with a shaggy green coat and a terrifying soul-shaking bark that could be heard for miles. It was a harbinger of death, an escort to the underworld. While skeptics might call these sightings misidentified large dogs, the consistency of the supernatural elements, the glowing eyes, the silent movement, the sudden vanishing, suggests something else entirely. Modern reports of these black dogs continue to surface along lonely roads and ancient pathways. Are thousands of people, separated by centuries and geography, all imagining the exact same thing? Or are they glimpsing a creature that walks between worlds, a guardian or a guide whose purpose we've forgotten? So what connects all these legends? It's the consistency. The fear of fairy forts points to a real and present power. The Dobhar-chú is carved into a historical tombstone. These aren't isolated fantasies. They are a web of interconnected accounts, a cultural record of real encounters with creatures that don't fit into our neat scientific boxes. The Celtic world was one where the veil between what is seen and unseen was thin. Perhaps that veil hasn't thickened. Perhaps we've just forgotten how to look. The next time you're in the wild, remember these stories. Listen to the silence between the sounds and watch the shadows. You might just see that they are not just stories after all. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the shadows of Celtic legend. If these mysteries fascinate you as much as they do us, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unexplained. Let us know in the comments which of these cryptids you believe in, or if you've had an experience of your own. Stay curious and keep searching for the truth. We'll see you in the next video.